All right, Anthony Harrell, Harrisburg mayoral candidate. Thanks for coming in this afternoon. We appreciate your time.
You're very welcome, sir.
Thanks. You bet. We've been doing this one of two ways for our candidates. We're letting you either offer a quick opening statement, or we can just dive right into questions and dispense with the formalities. Your honors. So
We can dive right in.
all right, Christine, you want to go round one?
Sure. First of all, is it Harrell or Harrell?
It's Harold.
Harrell.
Yes.
Okay. I get it. And so we understand you served in the military. So can you describe your time in the military, why you left, and the jobs that you've held since then?
Well, first I was in the United States Navy first. There I was a seaman on the USS Orion in Sardinia, Italy. While I was a seaman, you get to do everything. You have no particular skill set. You just do whatever is needed to be done. The upkeep of the ship and maintenance, stuff like painting and those type things. You get to do everything type work because whatever ship will need. It needs somebody just to take care of everything, and you have no particular set that you do. You just do whatever's needed to be done. It could be in any department they will have you in. From there,
Mr. Halbertree, what were the dates of your service in the Navy? From what year to what year?
90 to 89 to 91.
Okay.
And when did, or why did you end up leaving the service?
Well, Navy it was time was up to leave the Navy.
Okay, because I saw, I think on your LinkedIn it said disabled veteran, so I didn't know.
That was for the Army.
Okay.
What happened was I went
And when did you go into the Army?
2006.
Okay.
I was in I went in the National Guard first, Army National Guard out of Anvil.
Okay.
And after you left the service, describe some of your jobs that you've held since then.
Well, as a regular citizen, I went to maybe a few fast food restaurants, worked there, Hershey Amusement Park, which was nice. And the last one was a security job at Harrisburg Mall.
So I guess the main question a lot of people have about your candidacy is, why now? Why did you decide to get into politics? This is a big step to be your first race. Could you talk about that?
Well, what I try to tell every American is this. The day you pull that lever the first time, when you're 18 years old, 19, when you first pulled it, you became a politician. You became into that field. You became part of this community, this making decisions. Every time when you pulled for a lever for a different individual, it was like you yourself was voting. So I feel as though that the day when I turned 18, I first pulled. It was the first time I stepped in. I've always been in. Just that now I decided to actively, instead of letting others step in, I think it was time that I gave it a shot. That a different route had to be, somebody who was just not of a particular breed, affluent, money, or background. Just somebody, an average day American citizen who said, maybe it's time that I give it a try. Maybe I try to make a difference in this country, in this city.
Why not start with city council or some sort of a different office and work your way up? Tell us about the strategy of just going right for the mayor's office and how you can convince voters that you have the experience and you're the most qualified candidate.
Well, I thought about that question a long time. And everybody asks the question about qualifications. This is what I say. For the last 3 administrations, at least the last 28 years, Harrisburg has had the most qualified candidate run the city. And in the end, $400 million in debt. The city was bankrupt. Criminal charges were brought against certain individuals. Now, I don't fault them, just that's the highly qualified. Then we had one who was coming from city council president. She ran one term, and the public spoke. The citizens spoke. They said, we want somebody else. So when a person say, what are your qualifications as far as why you didn't run for city council or school board, you say, the citizens said those who were qualified, we gave them their chance. For almost 35 years, we've given those who had the knowledge, say, the breeding, to go to the schools, to do the right thing, they had their chance to run the city. And so far, the results of having those that were in charge, who knew better than we, knew how to run it, they didn't do such a good job. Not necessarily doing it on purpose, maybe just their plans just didn't work out. So maybe it's time for somebody who have life experience, give it a try. I mean, the truth is, as the citizens would say, we didn't break the city. We didn't make it broke. We didn't tear it apart. We didn't do anything to it. We just paid our taxes, and we lived there. We didn't do it. So maybe it's time for somebody, one of us, to step up and say, let's see what somebody else with a new vision, a new direction, just give them a try. We've tried the best for those who said he were. So why not?
So in the Navy, you were an enlisted sailor.
Yes.
In the Army, what rank did you eventually rise to? Did you have any command?
No, actually, it was
capacity?
a specialist.
Okay.
E4.
So did that
Right
give you
below.
command? Did it give you command of a platoon or a group or anything sort of in your background that suggests management or between your military or private sector experience that gives you either command or management experience that you might be able to apply toward being the
Sure.
executive of the city?
Now, when I was in Iraq, I was part of something called a MIT team. It was about 4 vehicles, 10 soldiers. It was mostly all officers except for the 4 drivers were enlisted. And I was in charge of that one vehicle. To make sure that vehicle the maintenance was done every day. To make sure it was filled up with gas, make sure it had the computer system was running. I had to make sure when we were on patrol that vehicle was 100%. And I was responsible for the captain and the other soldier that was inside there. That was for the whole year I was there, I was responsible for 3 other lives besides mine. Oh, actually, all those that was there. I'm responsible for every life in that mid-team. From there, I understood what it meant to be a leader because I listened to those that was over top of me. As far as, I don't mean over top, I mean the officers. And they spoke to me, said, we're all the same here. I know we're officers, but we're the same. We need you to show us that you can lead. We want you to drive this vehicle, you have to drive through the IEDs, wherever it may be, these situations, through the villages. We have to believe and trust in you that you will be able to handle this vehicle and keep it upkeep of it, keep it ready, guide us through when it was hard. If something was to go wrong, we need to believe that you can do it. And grateful to say, I led them through it. I led the whole unit through it.
If you are elected, do you have anyone in mind who you would like to include in your administration?
Actually, as we speak, no, but I'm open to everyone. What I tell people is, I've checked my ego at the door a long time ago. I have no ego. I've seen it, in order to be here, so that your feelings don't get hurt or you to be criticized, you have to leave your ego at the door and let others come in and criticize or try to assist you. And I believe that anybody wants to come in, no matter where you're from, the city of Harrisburg. If you want to come in and say, hey, I have an idea, or I would like to work, or I have this, I want to put before you, I welcome you with open arms. I don't know everything, but if you can help make this city better, if you can help the city grow in any kind of way, I'm all for it.
Have you been to very many city council meetings, or tell us about your experience of kind of getting into the weeds of what the city's been doing lately?
Well, as far as city council meetings, I haven't been to too many. I've been to maybe 3 or 4, but to me, going to the city council meeting, I mean, there's something you're supposed to do to stay involved and understand how the budget's going, which if they want to enact this law or enact this or enact that, you know what's going on. I understand how important that is to be there. But being a citizen, listening to the people, because there seems to be a disconnect. The thing is, there's a disconnect between the people and the city council. It's nobody's fault. It's just a communication thing. The city council is saying one thing, and the people, the citizens of Harrisburg, are saying one thing. We need to put them both on the same page. If it's, I don't know, city council coming out to the people or more people coming out to the city council. But I think what they need to do is stream it. If they would get a Facebook or some kind of way where the citizens can be involved, maybe they work, they go to school, whatever it may be. They can't make all the meetings, but they do seem like, I want to be interested. I want to know what's going on, but I just can't, I don't have the time. Maybe I have children, I have to pick somebody up, but I would like to be able to be there. So if, like I said, it's a communication thing. The city council come up with something, the citizens would love to be involved in it.
Do you have any ideas for legislation or things that you would like to specifically accomplish as mayor?
Well, the one thing, my one goal, one thing I talk about since I've been here is security. I think that everything in this city starts from security. Without that, there's nothing else. What I mean by, when we was in Iraq, the one thing we had to do was to make sure that a village could grow or anything else, or the citizens would speak to us. They had to believe that these people that are standing there is protecting us, and they have our best interests in mind, only us. And if something goes wrong, they will be here to defend us. So if somebody came into the village that wasn't supposed to, they had no problem with coming in and, hey, there's somebody in here who's not from here. Because they had that trust. And I believe that in the city right now, there's a trust issue with the citizens and the police department. Again, I fault no one. It's just nobody's starting to communicate with each other the way they should. And under my administration, I will make sure that communication, that gap has to be closed. One, have more meetings with the citizens and the police department. They need to get together and talk. Say, I would like to tell you what's going on where I live at, all this crime and stuff. I would like to tell you, but I'm afraid if I've been seen telling you things in front of you, I'll get retribution. So to keep that from happening, maybe the police say, okay, meet us at this meeting. We talk here. Then you can leave messages here. Here's a phone line. Here's a page where you can go on where you can leave things for us so we can have that communication. So like, as it stands now, a person can get shot in Harrisburg. An individual know even who did it, but the police are having an issue where they're not telling who did it to them. And the only reason that would be is because they feel as though if I speak on that, I might get retribution from the person that actually shot the person, even though I watched it happen. And it's not their fault. I understand how they feel, because they have a family, they have things, children, they want to make sure they're safe. So the one goal would be to make that area, make them feel safe and speaking with the police, so that it's not a bad thing. Because I think right now, people see this being snitching, as they call it now. It's snitching. I don't want to tell the police anything because I'm no snitch. And I want to say to my American patriots, my citizens, it's not being a snitch. I understand why you are, I want to call you afraid. I understand the situation. But in order for us to take back our city from those who would destroy it, we must become as one. We must be on the same page as each other. If you do not come to the police and try to get rid of the situation, eventually it's going to come visit you. You don't want it to be where a loose bullet or stray bullet kill your child or shoot you, and then you want to come up and march and do things then. Then it's too late. Step in now and do what you have to before it visits you personally. Because we all, if we don't, eventually it will. And if not you, your neighbor, somebody close to you. I understand why you don't. But under my administration, I will make sure you do. I will protect you. I will make sure that you're protected, no matter what the cost.
That is a two-way street. That suggests there's some duty on the part of the citizens to come forward and to build those relations, but there's also that duty on the behalf of the department to come forward and help build those bridges as well. And what training do you see providing to the officers so that they know how to leverage those skills? They know how to build those bridges and build that trust with the community.
Well, there's two parts to that. The first part I would say is the police, like everybody else, viewers and computers, you need more training, and continuous training of different backgrounds, culture, multiracial. We have a multiracial different culture now. I think the police should get just more of a heads up, more classes on how to deal with different people of different nationalities, different cultures. I think because what they may think is one thing and it really isn't, but because they're not used to that culture of seeing them act a certain way, they think other things might be going on. As I said, it's not their fault. They just don't know. And I think if we get more classes to the officers to keep them abreast of everything, they would understand and say, okay, I see what this situation is. This is their culture. This is how they do things on this side. This is how they do things over here. This is not a threat. This is not, something that should take too heavily. It's okay what they're doing. I understand. And the second thing would be, which I've been saying is, I do believe the police should live in a neighborhood. And the reason why I say that, I know right now there's a thing where, at least for the next 4 years, the police, they have a deal where they are allowed to live in different municipalities. I understand that. That was made before. I don't want to come in and say, no, break that. But after that is done. As I said before when I was in Iraq, if you're there most of the time, if you're in the community with them, they're more or less inclined to want to speak to you. If they see Officer Joe go to Kmart, go to Walmart, go to the corner store, they're more or less inclined to want to, it'll be easy to speak to them. They won't be so full of, every time we meet, it's always something went wrong. I don't want to be there every time I speak to a police officer, something's wrong. Every time I see him, something's wrong. It's never coming to me and saying, how are you doing? But if they were to live in a neighborhood, you can see him every day, you would say, there's Officer so-and-so going to the store. Maybe he would help you with your bags in the house. Maybe he would help him cut his grass, or whatever it may be. But it would be more friendly. You'd be more inclined to want to speak to him when a situation come up. You might just pull him to the side and say, I want to talk to him something a little later. You wouldn't mind doing it because he lives in the neighborhood. And if he's in a neighborhood he's invested in, he's invested in it, he's going to make sure that that neighborhood where he's at is going to be safe.
What's your favorite part of the city?
Actually, I would say, I do like visiting the State Museum. I mean, all parts are great, but I do like going to the State Museum. My children love going to the State Museum. I like seeing that big giant yellow bird that was in there. It's awesome. they do like that. Going through the museum, they do like that. I like going inside there. It's very informative. The State Museum. Because when I first came here, I had no idea. But when I went, it was free then. But now it's cost more. It's okay. I understand that. But now I really do. I adore going there to the State Museum. I think that everybody should go. I think that everybody should come visit. Even from your citizens out here in the nation, please come visit the State Museum. It's pretty good. I like it.
Where do you live in the city? What neighborhood?
We would call it Allison Hill.
Okay.
Up in that area.
We've been asking everybody this, and we've gotten a great variety of answers. I'd like to know, say the city's financial problems are put to rest, what kind of true visionary projects would you like to see done? We're calling them the pie in the sky projects. One candidate mentioned a restaurant up by the Civil War Museum. Another has famously talked about an aquarium. What do you see as something you'd love to see come to the city?
Let me think. Okay. I would like to see something like some more vocational schools for the younger people. Get them more involved in the community. I think that because so far they just have just regular, high schools and John Harris and all. But I think that they should have some vocational schools because a lot of these teenagers, the younger generation, will love to help rebuild the cities. I think they have the most imaginative ideals, and the only way to get it done is to have them put their hands on, have them try it.
You are going to school now, too, right?
Roger that. Yes, sir. Sorry. Sorry.
What exactly are you?
I'm going to school at Central Penn for information technology. It's a 4-year degree to go on top of the 2-year degree for computer network administration. It's just going further or deeper into the computer field.
How far in are you by now?
Well,
Did you just start?
Well, yeah. Well, I have with 2 semesters already.
Okay.
So I got 2 more left.
Have you read the grand jury report regarding the incinerators? finances that just happened like a week or so ago. The Attorney General released kind of the findings of what went wrong with the ballooning debt, and was curious for your thoughts on it if you had read that report.
Yeah, well, actually, I saw the actual video. It was streamed when he was out, and with the $400 million was this is the way I see it. I don't think that the administration, that American patriot, I don't think that he had bad intentions or was looking to deceive. I think he really did have a good idea. He did. And he thought of ways to making the city better. And he figured, maybe I'll try to do this, maybe I'll try this. And I think that maybe, like all ideals, sometimes they're just bigger than what we think they are. That maybe we need to step back sometime and make it seem a little bit smaller first. And it got out of hand. And he wanted to try to fix it. When we tried to fix it, that got out of hand. Then it was too late. Then it was too far in. So situations happened then. I think that it just got out of hand. He had good intentions in the beginning, like we all do. Like even with the idea for the water and the dam and stuff, it's good intentions, but sometimes good intentions might not be just enough. That you have to realistically look at things and know when to pull back, know when to listen to those you hired to be around you. When they say, maybe pull back a little bit. Maybe this is not such as good as I may think it is. Maybe we should cut our losses and try to recoup. Because the one thing I know, I'm gonna say I know as an American patriot, what he was trying to do was make the city better. I know he wanted to make the city better, make it grow. That's what everybody here, all the candidates are trying to do. Just make it grow, make it better for the next generation and those who want to come in.
Did the Attorney General make the right call or the wrong call by not pressing charges?
One way I see that is a law enforcement call. That if he feels as though there wasn't enough evidence or whatever he believed it was, then he made that decision. I'll leave up to him. I'll stay, as one candidate said, I'll stay in my lane on certain things, and I won't cross over into somebody else's lane. I don't have enough. I won't know enough to be stepping in somebody else's lane. I can just only believe what they say and have confidence in what they say is what it is what they say it's to be.
Beyond security, assuming you take care of that, what's the next priority then for you?
This is what I say. We said security because I would like to see. We have about 30,000, I think, state workers that come into the city every day, back and forth, around that number. It would be wonderful. It would be great. After securing the city, they say, I wouldn't mind moving to Harrisburg. I wouldn't mind moving into Harrisburg. So let's pull that. Let's say we pull in 25,000 or even 20,000 people into the city, into the neighborhood, and let them move all through the neighborhood. The city of Harrisburg will grow bigger than anybody's imagination. We will have home ownership all through the city. That means that all parts of the city is one now. I mean that everybody from out the south to uptown to midtown all will be one. We all be one great city that actually capital that everybody else would want to do. Everybody want to see. You have all different parts of the state saying, I see what Harrisburg did. I like what they did. The city is secure. Everybody moving in. I've seen us growing. I see the houses booming up there. I see that businesses is looking great up there. It's a good place to start a business. And it's a good place for children to grow. I like that. And that's my goal will be to make that place, make the capital, the shining example of Pennsylvania.
We talk a lot about what would you do if you win. I'd actually like to ask you, if you don't win the election, would you still want some kind of role in the city? Is there anything you would like to do to help the city if you don't win?
Oh yes, I mean, this was just the beginning of a long haul. Like I said, I have children here. I have roots here now. I have roots here for almost 17 years. I'm here to stay. So it's in my interest, my children's interest, all my citizens' interests, all my citizens' children's interests, that somebody keeps pushing to make this city great, to stay involved, to keep speaking and keep talking. Even if my issue do not get across on my administration, maybe somebody else's administration will say, I like that ideal. Make the city safe. And from then on, that we can grow. Say, I've done my job. I made the city safe, one way or another.
You've mentioned the schools a little bit. The mayor, of course, has no direct oversight of the schools in any way, but certainly there's been a strained relationship between the city and the school system. If you were elected, how do you see yourself improving that relationship?
Well, I remember we said earlier about the mayor going to the city council meetings. I think it would be a good thing if the mayor also went to school board meetings. He went and he sat down with them, sat down as a citizen down and listened, and said, hey, what can we do to make this right? What can we do to make our children better, brighter, the best in the county? What can we do? Sit down with student council, the school board. Sit down with them. So I think that all of it needs to come together full circle. Everybody does. And once that happened, I believe that we'll be the city it'll just from there. Because then the citizens, what they need to see is their leaders. They need to see their leaders on the same page. As long as they keep saying school board over here, the mayor's office over here, and city council over here, they'll say, you see, that's why we can never have, because everybody's separate. We're all American patriots. We're all Americans here, all of us. Whether it's city council, school district, and the mayor, and the citizens. We all want the same thing. We want to see our children grow. We want to see the city grow. We want us to grow as a city as well. So, that being said, all of us should do our part together.
The city's facing some complicated, financial situations involving Act 47. Can you describe your approach to get the city out of Act 47 and how home rule might fit into that, and your thoughts on home rules?
Well, the way I understand Act 47 is it's due to end in 2018, if I'm correct. That whole situation was, I'm gonna have to let that has to go. Home rule seems to be a second option, but I'm still holding out because I still believe that maybe there's a third and a fourth option that hasn't been put before the people yet. You just only given two options: either stay in Act 47 or home rule. I have to believe, as a citizen, that there is another one. There has to be two or three more. We can't just lock ourselves into two and just fight those two out. There has to be a way. So, that being said, this is what I say to my fellow Americans. If you do have an idea, if you think you might have another way out, step up. Come speak to the mayor. Come speak to me. Give us ideas. Be part of the situation. Be part of the solution. Don't stand back and let other people decide for you what's good for the city. You may just have that great ideal.
Where would you like to see the city in 5 years?
5 years. Financially stable. I'd like to see it secure. Again, the city is secure. More home ownership. I'd like to see streets. Take care of that sinkhole there. I'd like to see all our streets taken care of. Schooling, at least. Get our somehow, some way, get our schooling. Our schools, open up more schools, but get the children, get the young people involved, have them already building, looking toward the future, maybe even have some involved in politics. Getting Harrisburg, getting all the citizens on one page. All of us on one page.
How would you address the racial divide in the city?
Well, the way I see it is, as a soldier, as I see it. When we're in a uniform, we're all one. We're not African American soldiers, we're not Jewish soldiers, we're not Asian soldiers, we are just American soldiers. And that's how we train to see ourselves, and that's how we see ourselves. Here in the city, we've been divided. But I'm here to tell you, my American patriots, we are all Americans. That's what we are. We are American first. When you leave this country, and you go visit other countries, they'll say, to hear you speak, they'll call you an American. They don't call you anything else. They don't call you no slash. They say you're an American, because that's what you are. Here in the city, you're an American city. You're American. You're Harrisburg, but you're an American. Once you realize that, we all the same, no matter what race, what creed, we're all the same. Midtown, uptown, out the south, you're Americans. I'm telling you, you are American. I'm American. So we should take care of each other.
So you're new to politics, your first time running. Is there a politician or somebody who's, someone in elected office that you look to as a role model, someone who you think is sort of your ideal public servant that you'd like to emulate in some way?
I'm going to say it like this. I grew up with a single mother, and I watched her work hard, 2-3 jobs. Back then I was a latchkey kid. When I came home, I had a key around my neck, kept it in my shirt, came home, let myself in. She would come home later, make sure I ate. She would go to her second job, third job. She did this for a long time. I never hardly got to see her, a lie. As I got older, I began to understand why. I always see her sleeping all the time. She always be asleep. I understood it. When I got older, I understood what she was showing me, what she was training me. You have to do what is necessary. You have to take care of what you create. Don't make excuses for things. Just do it. Just do what's necessary. So, with that being said, who I would like to go after, who I would like to emulate after would be my mother. She trained me to hard work. She trained me to see things. I went into the military. A single mother got me to the military. I went to college, went to the military, and now I'm trying to run for office. This was instilled in me because she gave this to me. She said, you go out and you go change the world, make it better. So that the next time a single mother is out there with a child, she ain't got to work as hard. Because you'll work hard to maybe get in there, change it so that you'll raise the pay. So she ain't got to work 4 jobs. Maybe she got to work 2 jobs. So she can spend more time with a child. Help raise that child. So if I wouldn't say win any politician, I'm sorry, no politician. Just my mother.
How has your campaign been going? Like, what sort of things have you been doing on the campaign trail, and what sort of support do you have? Do you have anyone working with you, helping you on the campaign trail?
Well, actually, I've had just my family, my wife and children, and a few individual friends. I went to pitch in, but I knock on the doors myself. I speak to the people. I even go to stores and shake hands, and I love being out with the people, talking to the people myself. When I had my petition, I went out and did it myself because I wanted to touch them. I wanted to say, my name is Anthony Harrell, and I would like to get on the be a candidate for mayor, but I would like your support. And I want him to look at me and say, I see his heart. I want to see who's talking to me. I didn't want to get volunteers. There's nothing wrong with them, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to see and hear the people. So when they say, I remember signing his petition, he came by and he said he would like my support. And this is why. I went to those neighborhoods that those don't go, but I went to everywhere. I spoke to everybody. But it's just been me. I've been enjoying it. It's what my mother taught me, that hard work thing, to make excuses, just go for it. It's also part of the military. Just get the job done. Go in. It's the mission. Go in there, don't make excuses. It's going to be hard, and it has been. Between school and this, I go to school in the morning. After the morning, then I go to a job. I go to an interview. I go to a debate right after school. So, and then after debate, then I go do my homework for school. So it's been hard, but it's what that is. That's that hard work that the citizens want to see. They want to see somebody say, he goes to school in the morning, goes to debate, then comes home, then does his schoolwork. That is what I want to see. Somebody who's going to keep grinding, keep working for me. And that's what I've been trained to do.
Would you have time to be still going to school full time if you became mayor, or how would you juggle your classes with the responsibilities of mayor?
What I would just do is I would go to school at night. My mayor position would be full time and go to school at night. Because I still have to finish the mission, which is what I started. I would go to school go to school at night, still be mayor during the day.
Would that pose a problem with city council meetings being at night? Because the committee meetings are at night and the city council meetings are on Tuesday night starting at 6 p.m.
Here's the great thing about Central Penn. They got online classes. So I can go to school online. So I actually don't have to physically be there. I can go to school online. That's one of the great things they have. So I can still go to school and still take care of the city's issues.
What's as you've been out there talking to people, what's sort of like the most surprising thing that you've learned, or the most unexpected thing that you've come across while you've been campaigning?
Well, it would be the division that I've seen with the people. I'm surprised that how they feel. They feel like left out. Like a lot of them feel, and the younger people, they feel like nobody cares. There's no voice. They don't have a voice. Nobody's speaking to them. They're speaking at them. Only time you hear about younger people is when they shooting each other, but they never say nothing positive about them. They would like to hear more positive things, and the people and how they're separated. You go to different parts of the city, and you hear them say, well, that part of the city, and that part of the city, and that part of the city. And what I've been trying to tell them is we're all the same. I know you've been conditioned to believe that we're separate, but we're not. I like going out south. I love going down uptown. I love going to midtown. I love going to all the parts. When I first got here, I took my daughter. She was little, and we used to go with a carriage. I used to go all around because I wanted to see all the different parts of the city, and it's great. It is. Every part of the city is great. Every part is great. We're not different neighborhoods with sections. We're just one big city. We're one big city. We're not sections. We're one big city. Because when people come to visit, they say, I'm coming to visit Harrisburg. I don't come to visit Midtown. I don't come to visit out the South. They say, I come to visit the capital, Harrisburg. And that's what we are.
What do you think you could do as mayor to help bring more people into the city? Whether for visiting or, like you said, possibly turning some of those state workers into Harrisburg residents?
In order for other individuals, my fellow citizens on the outside that's watching, in order for you to come in, because I've had friends tell me at school, I would love to come visit Harrisburg, but I'm afraid. I say, why? Because it's the crime. I'm afraid something's going to happen. And I say, okay, I understand. So, what if somebody was to erase that? It's the only barrier you have in front of you is crime. They say, I would go to the river, I would go to down to the river down there, I would go to Harrisburg Park, I would go to the museum, I would come walk around the downtown area, I would walk out, the Italian Lake, all those areas, I would come see it. I really would like to. Then I said, okay. Then I understand what the mission is. It's real simple. Make the city safe. Once you make the city safe, then you can put out all the brochures and everything, have Facebooks put up. We can go have commercials and talk to people and say, Harrisburg is a great place. Become #1 for safety. If they feel safe, they won't mind bringing their little ones in. If they feel safe, they won't mind coming on in and saying, I'll go there. That place is safe. I like to go hang out there. I like to go live there. Let me see what's going on with the people there. They seem friendly there. Everybody seems nice. That's what I would do. I would make it so that it has to be safe and secure. Once you do that, then everything from there is easy.
Do you have any specific ideas to increase home ownership?
Well, I know that when I first tried to think about was trying to get like I said, it's a communication thing. We got a lot of these homeless abandoned buildings, what we call blight. And my citizens, I know some people, I've seen it, they say, well, what is blight? I'm not going to use blight. It's abandoned buildings, just for some that just don't know. It's just abandoned buildings. That's all it is. We have a lot of abandoned buildings in the city. And I think that if the administration would reach out to these owners, just reach out to them and talk to them, say, look, I know we have a 10-year abatement where, it goes for 10 years, no taxes and stuff, and take care of your place. I think it's a little too long. 3 years maximum. You say, we'll help you turn it around. Talk to these landlords. Talk to them about turning it around. We'll give you incentives if you help try to turn it around. Because if your building looks great, we build something next to it, value goes up. More people want to come in. You'll get more. You always have renters always in there. And then the more that comes up, the more we can build, the more people can come in and try to move in. Like I said, there's 33,000 workers, 20,000 workers. So you know what? You build it, now come. You build it, now come there. You got a secure city. Everybody's taking care of business. You took care of all of your abandoned buildings. You got the landlords come to an agreement with you, with the city, that if we do this, X, Y, Z, that will happen. Because they will only have their good intentions in mind. You change your building around, we'll do this, and then you'll be taken care of from there.
Anybody else? Kate? Paul?
Was there anything else that you would like to add that we haven't covered?
Well, only one issue. We talked about it. We didn't talk about it a lot. I mean, sometime it comes up, and it would be about, because I saw it before in the paper, it was about sanctuary cities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm against sanctuary cities. I'm against Harrisburg turning into a sanctuary city for several reasons. We're a nation of laws. Those laws have to be followed. If we allow individuals to break the law, then you can never secure the city. For instance, there's a law that says you're supposed to have a license to drive. There's a law that says you're supposed to have insurance to drive. If you break those laws, things happen to you. If you commit a certain robbery, if you do certain things that is the law of this nation, there's penalties for it. I understand, families and this and that, but the way I see it, we have a lot of homeless veterans in this country, American patriots. We need to take care of them first. We need to take care of our patriots first, our own people, our American people. We need to take care of them first. They obey the law, so they should be taken care of. Before we think about giving any money, anything toward illegals, we need to take care of our own first. I'm not against them, but I think we should take care of our own. This is America. We should take care of Americans. That's what we should do. That's the law. I'm not advocating anything against anyone. It could be for overstay their visa. Simple as that. They knew the rules and the laws before things happen. I just think that we should not allow it to be a sanctuary city, because if it gets out, Harrisburg is a sanctuary city. We're inviting certain elements into the city. And they'll say, you can go to Harrisburg and do what you want. We come in hot on Harrisburg, and not all of them, but crime does come with certain individuals. It does. Not all of them, but it does. And there's be no way that the community can be a whole. Harrisburg can't become a whole. We have certain pockets of individuals hiding. Like I said, back in Iraq, when if a bad guy came into the village, they said they don't mind telling it to the soldiers. Hey, look, there's somebody here who ain't supposed to be here. Same thing. If the citizens was all legal citizens here, you have somebody who wasn't supposed to be here, they wouldn't mind coming in and letting somebody know. They're not doing it because they're being cruel. They're doing it because it's the law. And we must follow the law. We must. That keeps the society going, if you follow the laws. I didn't make the laws. I just abide by them. So I think everybody else should too.
You talked a lot about your top priority being security in the city. I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit more about how you would help secure the city, or what you think you could do as mayor to make the city safer.
Sure, absolutely. One, like I said before, we need to have a panel with the citizens and the police department. They need to have a meeting maybe once a week, once every 3 weeks, but a panel where have citizens, have police department. where they get to talk amongst each other and find out what's going on in your neighborhood, what's going on in that part of the neighborhood, because they can't be everywhere at once. They can't be everywhere at once, so that would be one. Two, we have to have, if possible, I would like to see this, mobile police stations in every part of the city. That will cut down on the time, you know, because you can have 3 or 4 shootings might happen in out the south, and then maybe something might happen out uptown. All the police power, all their attention might be over here because something serious like that might be going on, but something else might go on, and they don't have that resources to get to it. But if we spread them out, we spread the police department out, spread the officers out, then we can cut down on maybe on the police, on the response time, and the citizens will believe. If the citizens in their heart believe, if I call about a situation that's brewing, that's going on, a shooting, a stabbing, whatever it may be, if I call a robbery, whatever it may be, that I know that in an amount of reasonable time, the police won't be here, then they'll say, I'll go for that. They'll say, you know what, I trust them. I trust they'll come in and take care of it, because they won't take maybe a half hour or so when I need them there. If the citizens believe that they will have a good response time, then they'll take care of it.
Do we need to hire more police?
Yes, that's true. We do need more police officers, and I believe that when it came to that, in the last debate I said we need to recruit within the city. I think sometimes you need to go to the high schools, recruit some of these young men, young ladies, recruit some of these young people, show them a path. Say, look, snitch is not snitching. It's you standing up. You stand up in your community and you want to make a difference. You want to make it safe for your little brothers, your sisters, your mother, your father, your neighbor, your fellow Americans. You want to make it safe for them. So it's not a bad thing to be a police officer. It is an honor to protect and serve. I know it. It's an honor to protect and serve. There's a feeling on the inside of you get to know that you did your part for this great nation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Harrell, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.